At the beginning, as I promised, let me start by talking about three criteria which are very vital. The three F's of career planning: fitment, future, and fairness. So, what are these points that we are talking about over here? So, I always, wherever I go to certain schools or colleges, I conduct a small trivia quiz, and therefore I'm going to present it on the screen. You have to tell me what is wrong over here. A cook in the profession of a barber, mechanic in the profession of helping a dental clinic, a great sportsman in the profession of probably some or the other form of cleaning or laundry, and a creative artist at a corporate CEO's desk. What's wrong here? Well, if we were to paraphrase that in one simple line, it would be wrong person for the wrong job, stuck in a wrong career. Over the lakhs of career counselings that I have done during my course of my life, the most common problem, even at the corporate juncture, was that somebody who is fit for a marketing function is because of his MBA in finance. Somebody who's good at people and should be doing HR is more into the back office IT administration. Somebody who is doing operations was instead more pertinent for managing the office control of the organization. This, my beloved students, is the greatest error which we have to try and avoid, because what seems the finest may not be the fittest. And therefore, as I begin this 1 hour saga with you, remember the first mantra for career planning is almost all careers can offer reasonably good growth. Out of the infinite possibilities, there would be actually umpteen countless number of careers which may be good for you. But the question is, do you actually provide a natural passion? And therefore, it's not about how great it is. It is about how you naturally fit into it. So please remember some of the first vital questions that the great career of futures really have to be those which are really befitting and matching your persona. A good student caught in a wrong career is equally bad as a brilliant student caught in a good career, but where he wasn't meant for it. So, as we discuss this session, please allow me to start by sharing some vital paramount points over here. When we make career decisions, there are typically 2 to 3 factors which play a very big role in our taking those decisions. And the most common factor which we do are 2 of them. So let's discuss them. Mostly when we are in 11th and 12th, we do tend to get influenced by visibility and fame. Of course, at childhood, we look at actors, later on at sportsmen, sometime at some talent, even businessmen. Everybody wants to do IT, dreams of Satya Nadella, maybe Bill Gates, Steve Jobs. Well, make no mistakes, there is no harm in doing that. However, when you are thinking about careers which are purely based on some unique skill, there's a serious problem. And this problem is Eiffel Tower syndrome. For a small instance, let's talk about sports or cricket or dance. The amount of success which people at the top make actually makes them almost equivalent to a king. Great life, great prosperity, and grand success, which makes them very visible. However, the rest even struggle to make ends meet. Therefore, it's important to understand this Eiffel Tower syndrome. This is something which I take complete 2 hours sessions on. So please allow me, because this is just one tiny slide of this whole presentation. Please listen to this very carefully. Eiffel Tower syndrome points out to those careers like acting, sports, talent, dance, where they are extremely top heavy. So you have just few very tiny top who are leading a very prosperous life, whereas the bottom bulk is suffering because the gap is huge and they can't even meet a proper level of life which is expected to be lived. So let's take the example of Bollywood. The amount of money with the three Khans, maybe add Akshay Kumar, a few more, make is not 100 but 1,000 times more than the remaining 10 lakh make, as a very rough, broad, metaphorical presentation over here. Similarly, in sports, you were to add the earning of Sachin, Virat, Dhoni, is likely to be probably hundreds of times of more than the other 1 lakh cricketers. So when we talk about choosing a profession, it's important to choose the professions which have a flatter pyramid, because they give you a fair chance for a good performer. So this is a very important concept, that whenever you choose a profession, one F is choose a profession which will give you a fair chance of a good life, even if you were average at it. My beloved children, all of us, I pray to Lord Almighty, all of you become legends in your field. You become Vishwanathan Anand, you become PV Sindhu, Virat Kohli, Bill Gates, Satya Nadella. But the reality is, there are just about as many of them. So the bulk typically falls in the middle strata, from let's say the 66th percentile to the 33rd percentile. A smart career selection is based on the hypothesis that even if you were an average to good performer, you earn enough. Your quality of life is good enough that you can be extremely happy. So keeping this first step in mind, I'm going to give you 6 words. Now, lot of time the second error is that we are focusing a lot on our so-called family-based professions. A doctor's son for a doctor, a lawyer's daughter for a lawyer, a shopkeeper's son for a shopkeeper, a businessman's daughter for a businessman. Now, there's no harm in this. After all, it offers you a good head start. But there's a problem over here. And this problem is, when we put familiarity over fitment, we actually marginalize our inherent inclination. All of us are having some or the other kind of persona, and by choosing a profession just because of nepotism or a certain heredity-based lineage that we are following, we stand at a great risk of crushing our psyche. So you may be looking at the family shop sitting there for the next 40 years, but feeling suffocated because you just wanted to be a corporate CEO. You may be sitting at the family factory at Mayapuri, Anand Parvat, or whichever part of the town you live in, but feeling extremely crushed because you really wanted to be a lawyer or somebody who was perfect at coding. So when you talk about your choice, please prioritize fitment. And for that, it's not easy because there are scientific techniques to do that. You have to do something which is called psychometric testing. So students who are typically in class 10 should take up psychometric testing for stream selection. 11, 12 students must do psychometric testing to identify what are they meant for. It shouldn't happen that you're a cricketer who's washing clothes, or you are a chef at heart, but like that proverbial joke, are at the barber shop. Choose the horses for the courses. So remember, the second F is all about fitment. The first F was all about a career which gives you a fair chance. And the third F, which is extremely vital in what I'm going to present you today, is what does the future have in store for you in that profession? If you make a career which has good fitment today, a career where you think your profile also fits, so you have fair chance and fitment, but that career is reaching to the end of life cycle, you could be in trouble. Professionals who focused on the previous language like Fortran, Pascal, COBOL really struggle later when the language and technology completely tamed. The designers who focused on, say, tape cassettes or later on even CDs, diskettes, the professions died because the technology moved on. So you, as most of you, I presume, are roughly in the age group of 16, 17, 18, 11, 12 is the segment, or 19. Your planning of career selection should be set that that industry should be in the growing phase, the sunrise industries. Do not invest your careers in sunset, because before you know, they may be dead. That is the speed with which technology is changing. So you would want to have a career selection where it's a perfect fit, fair chance, and the industry also has a great growth.